Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be reacting to My Story Animated again. Since the Darman one got a bunch of views, I'm really excited about that. Thank you guys. This started something really big, and I'm really hoping that it gets so great. But if you see me eating something, that means I'm eating my breakfast. And please like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and check out all of my videos. Drop me bangers back to back. Okay, let's get started. Good code.
In fact, 4 out of 4, I ended up alone in the middle of the ocean. Now, you might wonder how the heck a person would end up lost in the middle of the ocean on a family vacation.
My mom
well,
left me.
You can say that my luck isn't
They're not
exactly
really
typical.
telling their
Before everything
titles
had
like the
escalated
story.
to this, I was planning a trip with both of my parents to the Caribbean islands. You see, my family is kind of rich, the kind that can afford to rent out a private jet when they go on vacations, and that's exactly what we did. On the 1st of October, we packed our stuff, and were ready to enjoy an adventurous weekend. I didn't pack much. In fact, I didn't need much. Just some clothes and my special parachute suit, which I always take with me on every vacation, if I ever feel like parachuting. I could honestly tell you guys that parachuting is the thing that gets me excited the most. The sensation, flying in the air, can't be compared to any other feeling in the world.
The only thing
In
that can
most
help you in
cases,
that
my
air
father
is a
jumps with
parachute.
me, and we landed
That
together on the island.
could-
However, this time, things kind of took a different turn. As I was getting ready to jump, I stood near the door of the jet waiting for my father, as he was getting ready to join. When I looked down, I could see that we were almost near the land, and I was getting really excited to jump. The view looked so amazing. So I took out my phone from my jacket pocket and took a picture. But that's when something happened that took me off guard. My phone slipped from my hand,
Hold on.
and I quickly leaned forward without thinking,
Why would you
hoping I would catch it.
Why would you hold your phone next to the edge where it could fall into the ocean? Now watch you go and get it. Probably she's too rich, so she wouldn't even care about that phone.
You could probably assume that
Sit
at
back
that
up.
point, what I did was very stupid, because it had caused me to lose my balance and trip off the jet. Oh my God!
But your
I
mom
couldn't
didn't do
believe
that.
this was actually happening to me at the moment. Everything was so quick that I couldn't even utter a word or scream for help, and I started falling as I heard my parents screaming my name. I took a deep breath to calm myself down, and I just thought that I'll do what I always do, except that this time I was going to land without my father. About 10 seconds later, the automatic parachute went off, which meant that something was wrong. It must have been the way I fell out of the jet, I thought. It was going too fast, and I did not jump correctly. I was heading towards the earth without any idea where I might land.
You weren't.
But
You
when I
were
looked
still on
underneath,
Earth.
all I could see was water everywhere. I honestly wasn't sure if I'd land in the sea, but I was hoping I wouldn't, because it was going to be a big problem. Before I knew it, I had hit the ocean. I had to act fast to avoid drowning. I remembered the instructions that said if you land in the water, you must get your chest strap off to take the gear off quickly and swim beneath the parachute. Even though I was panicking like crazy, I tried to calm myself down because I really needed to focus on what I was doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't survive. It took me a while before I managed to focus on the way I was swimming. I was honestly scared to death that my feet would get tangled up in the parachute and drown me with it. When I looked around me, all I saw was water. No ships, no land, no people, nothing. I took my shoes off to
That's
help
because
ease
you were
my
in the
movement,
middle
and I
of
swam around
what?
towards where I thought could be the way to the island. But I realized after a while that there was no way for me to know if I was swimming in the right
you really
direction.
think?
At that moment, I
think-
started realizing that I was in much bigger trouble than I thought I was in. I can't even describe the feeling I had. I have never been more scared in my entire life. My body was tired. Swimming started to become exhausting, and I honestly wondered whether that was going to be my
Girl,
last
it's 8
day
in the
alive.
morning.
Then a
How
thought
can
hit
you
me.
possibly
I
be
remembered
tired
all
now?
of the adventures I had taken with my parents,
And
and
why
how
did
there
I
were a
get
lot
up
of
so
hard
late?
times. At that
So
moment,
early?
I knew that feeling
Well,
sorry
my
for
mom was
myself
making me
wasn't going to
practice
get me
how to
anywhere.
wake up
I
early
needed
for
to
school.
fight to stay alive.
I go
I
out
never
there.
thought I would be put in
Sometimes
that
going
kind
to
of
middle school.
situation. Well,
Don't look
to
like
be
it.
fair, there were times that it had passed my mind, though I think everyone has had those kind of worst-case scenario thoughts, but never did I think of that. I thought about all the
See
best
little
ways to
holes in the
retain my
background?
energy. My biggest problem was that my body felt like lead. I didn't want to push myself too hard and sink to the bottom, so I decided to float for a while. However, with more time to think, more bad thoughts
I never
kept
even
coming
got
to
to
mind.
float.
I was in the middle
I
of
don't
the
know how to
ocean.
float.
What if a shark came up from the water and decided to eat me? They could smell blood for miles, and their jaws could snap down on me quick. Even while I was
Don't
floating, there would have been a
have
shark
blood
creeping
on
along
you.
the bottom of the ocean, just waiting for the right moment to attack. Needless to say, I was feeling uneasy. Even if it wasn't a shark, what if a freak storm hit and washed me further away from where my parents were looking? The weather around the island was supposed to be superb around this time of
You're not
year,
even near
but
your
that
parents.
didn't mean the weather couldn't change at any moment. I knew deep down that it may have been illogical, but at that moment, logic seemed to be the last thing that made it to the top of my mind. I never felt so weak in my life. There was nothing I could control. If something went wrong all of the ways out here, I would end up dead, and my parents wouldn't even know what happened to me. I was out in the open with nothing to do but swim around, and I was hardly the
sharks right
fastest
there.
thing in the sea. There was no mistaking how vulnerable I was out there. So many thoughts that seemed to weigh me down more than my own tired body. I started to panic again and started to swim again, trying to do all I could to make some sort of safety fast. Then I thought better of it. I knew that I needed to calm down if I wanted to survive. The
Just
only
calm
thing I
down.
could do was wait. But if I used up all of my energy then and there, I wouldn't have any later in case I desperately needed it. I didn't know if there were any sharks around, but if there were, I would not go down without a fight. Those may have been empty words,
Girl,
but
there's
they
no
made me
sharks.
feel better at the moment. I started thinking about other things. I wanted to fill the time by thinking about
Your
anything that would take my
friends.
mind
You
off
would
of
be
the
friends with
situation
someone
that I
who's
was
that
in.
crazy jump
Lying
out.
there, looking up at the sky, I started to play little games in my mind. I looked at the clouds and found images of them. Then I would remember times that would fit with the image. I saw slopes and remembered how my family went skiing the year before. Skiing down the mountains, feeling the cold on my face while surrounded by the thick snow. The hot chocolate I drank when we all sat down in the lobby at the end of the day. And the fireplace in our room as we sat and played board games. It was one of my favorite memories of last year. The clouds started to drift through the sky, passing me by, on their way for their own adventure. I could see the sun start to dip in the sky, but I didn't know how much time had passed. My body was starting to ache all over. From hitting the water to swimming as hard as I could, I was pushing myself further than I ever had. The worst part was not knowing how much longer I would need to continue pushing. At that moment,
Guys, I have a question. Do you guys want gaming videos? Because I will try my best to do gaming videos for you guys. Okay? Because y'all are mine. Not just my people.
I couldn't even panic. I was
Not to
too
subscribe.
tired to
I
do
only see y'all
anything
get
else
views.
but float.
Subscribe.
Trying to do anything else would take too much energy. As the sun drifted lower in the sky, I thought how beautiful the orange glow over the water looked. And I started to wonder, would that be the
You in
last
the
thing I
bootleg
saw
water where
before
every
I died?
fish poos
When the
and
sun
pees.
had completely
That's nasty.
faded in the sky and the stars started to
pretty.
show, my body started to falter. I could feel
I love
myself
the dark
dipping
seas. I like
underwater
everything that
and tried
with
focusing
fishies,
all of my
blue,
attention on
and
staying
blue,
afloat
anything.
just a little longer.
Anything
I
blue.
could feel tears in my eyes, but they were covered by the water. I clenched my eyes shut tight, my mind once again drifting towards the negative. I wasn't going to be found. Maybe my parents were looking in the wrong place.
Something is
And
honestly
what if
wrong
my
with
swimming
you.
earlier was in the wrong direction and I made it harder on them? I started to
the
come down
heck
on
out of
myself
that water.
harder than I ever had before. I opened my eyes again and looked up at the stars. One stood out above all the rest. It was brightly reflected on the water,
Yes.
but when I looked
But
up,
your
I
mom
didn't
didn't leave
see
you
it.
in there.
When the light
Okay?
got brighter and
They're
brighter,
trying to
I
find you.
realized that it wasn't a star, but a boat. I smiled to myself as it came closer to me. Then I used the last of my strength to scream out. As the boat came nearer, I could
Hey!
feel relief fill my
Girl,
body.
you
I
a
didn't
bunch
know
of
how
strength.
long I was there,
Your
nor
toes
did I
must be
know if I
crinkly
would make
crunchy
it.
like
But just
raisins.
being able to see help
Musty,
coming for
dusty.
me made all the
But
difference in the world. The crew helped me up onto the boat
It's
and
not-
led me over to a small cot that they laid out for me. It
It's
wasn't
all
until
good.
I was out of the water that I realized how cold I actually was. When they saw me shivering, they wrapped me up tight to fight off the cold night and headed off in the direction of the island. It was finally over. I was brought to the local hospital and
Plot
waited
twist.
for my
That
parents
was
to
a cult.
arrive. They fussed over me for quite some time, trying to make sure that I didn't have any cuts and bruises, and to make sure that I was rested and
Did
ate a
you
nice
see any
meal.
sharks
Even though I
around?
was surrounded by
I don't
strangers,
think
it felt
so.
good to be back on dry land again. When my parents burst into the room, I could see the worry on their faces. My body wasn't too beat up, but being in the ocean for so long made me look worse than I was. My dad immediately went to asking questions, trying to find out if there was anything wrong with me. My mom came to my bed and held me
I
tight.
love my story.
I hugged her back, so happy to be near her again. When she finally let go, I could see that her eyes were red.
But you were
and
talking
puffy.
about in the
My
title.
dad came over to me
My
next
mom
and
left
apologized
me out
for
in the
not getting
ocean
there
for
sooner,
clickbait,
and told
probably.
me how he
I don't
hired
care.
every available
They
boat
still
to
have
search
these
for me.
great
I shook
stories,
my head
and they're
gave him a hug,
amazing.
too. I was just happy that he was there now. From then on, I knew not to take life for granted. Every moment is precious and should be spent appreciating everything that you have, because you never know when it may be gone. So yeah, call
Are
it
you
bad
talking about
luck
your phone?
or even a stupid mistake. I
Okay,
can't
you didn't
really
say
argue
anything
with
smart
either
to your
one.
parents. I know you didn't. Okay, guys, comment down below which one you want for next time, because I'm gonna be posting in a few hours. I'm the real life Elsa, or I'm the real life Rapunzel. Which one do you want? Yeah. So guys, that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and check out all of my videos, because I drop new bangers back to back. And I'll see y'all in the next one. I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, something's literally going on. What's going on with my camera?